All right, everybody, if you could come in and take your seats, we're going to get started here. First up after the break, we have Summit Technology Laboratory from UC Irvine.
Good afternoon. I am Aditi Majumdar, founder and CEO of Summit Technology Laboratory. Let me start with technology overview. I'll start with showing you an excerpt from a show in Sydney Opera House. It's shown at 4x speed. So as you see here, there are multiple projectors projecting on this complex shape of the Sydney Opera House and creating very compelling visual experience. This is what we call projection-based augmented reality, and that can create very rich experiences. Now let's see what it takes to create such a production. First of all, you need very expensive projectors, $40,000 to $80,000. They're very heavy, 100 pounds, probably about 10 or 15 of them to light such a complex shape, which leads to a hardware cost of at least 10 to 20 million. In addition, you need extensive deployment labor, everything starting from mounting the projectors, stitching the images across multiple projectors, balancing the color, curating the content to align well with the underlying shape. Takes tremendous amount of effort, almost a few man-months. Of course, very low portability, and if you make any changes to the underlying architecture or want to change the number of devices, it's extremely hard to do it quickly. Summit Technology Laboratories, which I'll refer to as STL, core technology lies in a projector aggregation software, which makes this deployment process completely automatic by using one or more cameras for feedback. This has very far-reaching impact for bringing this kind of experiences in everyday applications. First of all, being hardware agnostic, we can allow consumer devices which are very light, thereby reducing the cost of the system and increasing its portability significantly. Second, the deployment time can be reduced dramatically to come to a few man-hours instead of man-months. And we can deploy them on any shape and size using any number of devices you want, making it completely scalable. In addition, because of the cameras in the loop, we can now start tracking the user interaction, maybe via a laser pointer or via hand gestures, and respond to it. So as a result, this ceases to be just a projector aggregation software and becomes a projector aggregation and interaction software, which we call praise. And now we have user interaction, which is not possible today, and we can do multiple user interactions. Therefore, praise enables interactive, multi-user, shareable experiences on real objects, where people can maintain their natural mode of interaction without using any variables. It retrofits to any physical shape and size using both front and rear projection in the presence of significant ambient light. It increases portability by 10 to 200 times, increases speeds up deployment by 50 to 100 times, and reduces cost of the system by 100 to 1,000 times. As a result, praise essentially brings projection-based augmented reality to consumer applications instead of one-off niche application, as you saw in the Opera House. This was developed in my lab in UCI for last 10 years, using around $1.5 million in funding. Our lab is considered one of the pioneering labs in projection-based augmented reality. It resulted in 8 issued patents, 2 of which we have licensed from UCI in February for STL, and we have also applied for a patent from STL recently. So let us see the praise in action in a kind of an everyday application. Here is an $8 white vase from Amazon, illuminated by 8 mini projectors, each driven by a nano computer, observed by 8 webcams, all consumer devices. And this was deployed in 4 man-hours to create a special interactive experience, which we have deployed in 3 different public events in the past year, including one which was in broad daylight, where you usually don't see projection-based systems. So can you put the volume down a little? As you see here, there's a white vase. The hardware was assembled. Here the deployment is working automatically. Set projected patterns seen by cameras, which is figuring out the shape of this vase, and then the texture gets nicely wrapped around, creating an attractive 360-degree display. More importantly, people are now starting to interact with this display, changing the texture that is going on top of it. The same hand-based interaction is being used to select color from a projected palette and change the checkerboard color of the checkers on the vase itself. So here is our business overview. Praise not only works in existing market, but it enables opening completely new markets. So what we have done here is kind of lay down all the different markets we can approach based on the way we are going to work on the business development in that direction based on this timeline. So first is hospitality, which includes trade show, conventions, events, and concerts. Multi-user shareable experiences, which does not involve wearable devices, are a great visual and experiential differentiator, but it was not available to this market so far because of being not portable, being high cost, and not easily deployable. So we can have a huge impact in this market. Second is low-cost simulation training system with Praise in there can be opening up cost-sensitive markets like those in South America or Asia. Projection-based medical devices can be used to project surgical markings or medical image data on top of the patient itself, which the surgeon can change interactively. It can be used to revamp brick and mortar experience in retail, especially by the treatments in awnings or windows or inside the store. It can create lighter and brighter digital signage. It can even create lighting. Imagine each of these lights here being changed into a projector camera system, and then you can light this entire place at a very high resolution, which can be changed by user interaction. It can also be used for theatrical lighting. Imagine a theater set where you have a wide rectangular cuboid, and you can use projected light to make it look like a bed or a bench or a chest, literally at a flick of a finger, like a magic. So the possibilities are really endless, which can give us a TAM of around 126 billion and a SAM of around 21 billion. And I can show you the numbers if required later on. Our current revenue generation strategy in the hospitality direction has been first a software license and support. We have got our pilot customer in Vulcan in Seattle who are building interactive, immersive museum exhibits called Holodome. Incidentally, just the museum segment of the hospitality market is a 4.4 billion market. So we have deployed Praise in Holodome, and its first installation is currently running at Museum of Pop Culture in Seattle from May, and it is coming to Weaver in LA from June. We have also used Praise in hardware packaged interactive experiences, some of which we are showing you here, and I can talk more about it if required. These can be rented out directly or via value-added resellers for events, and we are starting to do that locally already. Here is our funding and revenue track so far. We started with investment from myself of 40K in 2016. Then we got a NSF SBIR phase 1, which helped us develop the hospitality direction. We got a revenue of 28K from Vulcan to customize Praise for Holodome. We are expecting a revenue of 125K next 18 months by selling licenses to Vulcan. We are already starting to generate revenues from the rentals. We have submitted our SBIR phase 2, and we are anticipating a funding of 750K to 1 million in next 2 months. We have just started with Dr. Ross Sayadi in UCI Center for Tissue Engineering on creating a medical device for projecting surgical planning marks on patients. We have just preparing for NSF SBIR phase 1 submission in 15 days. And this first prototype in this direction has won the PAP New Award 2 weeks back in the New England Society of Plastic Surgeons. This is an award which is given 3 times in last 30 years. So we have raised total fund undiluted of 265K. We have got in revenues around 163K, and we are anticipating undiluted funds in the next 6 months of around $1 million. These are some possible exits. As you see, most likely our exit would be through acquisition. I have put up companies which are in each direction or each market, but we can also have an exit through the tech giants here. The key members of our team, our technical team, of course, comprises of myself. I have been a professor in UCI for past 13 years with many publications and, of course, 2 books in this particular direction. I have also been a consultant in a Stendo Disney Cubic Defense, winning different trade show awards for technology developed. Our VP of product design is an expert in distributed systems. He is my ex-graduate student, PhD student. Co-founder, consulting technical advisor, M. Gopi, is also a professor in UCI for 17 years. I have taken a sabbatical for next 1 year to be devoting full time to STL. Our business team, I have both of them here with me, is business development Kenji Hiroshian in hospitality industry, who has 30 years of experience in that direction and have been founder of key societies in that direction. And Mr. Pete DeAngelis, who has helped founding and funding of different tech companies, including IQ Envision, which was sold in 2014. We are looking for raising 750K, and this is the detail of that. We want a pre-money valuation of $5 million, 6% interest, 3 years maturity, and 25% discount. This is kind of the use of funds, primarily for research, productization, development, a little bit towards administration, marketing, and sales. And here is, of course, I have numbers, and I can explain this if somebody has questions about it and wants me to give you details. And I'm open for any questions you have. Thank you.